Hello everybody, Chuck Northside Guy. Today with part one of a three-part series I'm doing on T206 pickups from a heritage auction of the David Hall collection, the fifth one. I am pleased to share with you the first two today, but I want to provide a little bit of background because I have been sharing with this community my journey with T206 since I picked up my first cards at the Chicago National last summer of 2019. At that time, I wasn't really focused on that. I was focused on the Gaudi, 1933 Gaudi and the 1953 Bowman. Picked up a few and immediately entered the world of T206, and it has just been nonstop learning. I am amazed by the complexity. I am just increasingly drawn to these cards. And I've been trying to find out what is my way of collecting. And so I have been figuring it out step by step, not rushing into it, but increasingly finding the way forward. So David Hall, if you don't know, collected what is regarded as probably the penultimate set of T206, and now and he also is the founder and CEO of Collector Universe, so PSA. It is estimated he spent northward of $8 million, possibly more, assembling this set. And now, by his own admission on videos Heritage posted, he's looking to break it up. And you can tell it's heartbreaking, but it's a lot invested in these beautiful cards. And there have been now 5 successful auctions. The most recent concluded last Thursday, August 6th. And sadly, I missed the first 4. Finally jumped into this one. It was my first heritage auction. And the way I decided to proceed is I want to own, and this is where I'm standing right now with T206. So here's where I stand, guys. I'm looking to collect only PSA 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5 in T206. I am looking at cards I don't own yet. At this point, I now own 29 of these T206. I'm looking at scarce backs, and I want centered examples. For this David Hall Heritage auction, I focused only on cards that had a population of 1 in a brand, and there were none higher. So I'm looking for scarcity, and I'm looking for the outer edge of scarcity. And so I identified approximately 24 cards, and I began tracking those cards for the auction, ready to make bids. And again, I'd never done a heritage auction. I had to learn the process. They have this a bunch of different rules, very different than eBay. And so I identified the cards. The next step in my journey was, how on earth am I going to price these things? So I began, here's how I kind of try to figure out pricing. Because there was no guidebook for a population of 1 and none higher in a brand for T206. So I took elements of, what is the grade? What is the back? What is the premium for a heritage auction? Recognizing they might assemble certain buyers who might be maybe more deep-pocketed. Do I need to account for that? What's the premium for a David Hall auction? What's the premium for a population of 1, none higher? And so I studied sales, I pieced together data, and came up, and then I added 10%, if you can believe that, because I recognized that there was a serious commitment needed to participate in this auction, seeking the cards I sought. And in addition, of course, I also had to learn that there are a lot of other fees. There's a buyer's premium, and because I was on vacation last week when this auction was taking place, I only had access to my credit card. There was a fee for that as well. So things really added up. So ultimately, it became clear to me that there were really 12 cards, and that I could really go after because some of these cards just really took off into the stratosphere beyond what I felt comfortable paying, even with all those considerations I just walked through. And so I made strong offers, and here is part 1 of the result. So today I have my first EPDG, and I have another cycle. Each of these cards has a an interesting story too. So I don't know if you saw the news this week, but PSA has just graded its 250,000th T206 card. So that's our total population. In this population, 0.01 of 1% are these backed cards, the EPDG. And of the cycle, it's 0.007 of 1%. So just on the basis of the back alone, all grades, you're looking at some scarce cards. And so that had appealed to me. And of course, I've never owned one of these, and so I wanted to add that as I'm going about trying to collect as many backs as I can. So you've had a good long look at the backs. Let's flip them around now. Our first card is Claude Ritchie, presented here in a PSA 6.5. I'm going to bring it forward so you can look at it. I happen to find this just a beautiful looking card. The centering is nice. The corners are surprisingly sharp. And it just is a wonderful, wonderful image. Very well preserved card. I have to pinch myself and remind myself that it's over 100 years old here. So that's the first of today's card. Claude Ritchie, there's 400 Claude Ritchie cards in all brands, all grades. There are 11 Claude Ritchies in the EPDG backing. And of those 11, this is the only one at 6.5, and there are none higher. So that's the best example for that brand of that player. Next is Boss Schmidt. I know a lot of guys like these portrait cards. I do too. Look at that color. And again, the centering I think is really nice. A little shift left to right I think could be needed there. A little bit lower left corner is a bit dinged. But a nice, strong PSA 5. And in this, there are 400 or so Boss Schmidts floating around there in the PSA world. 6 are known to be in a cycle back, and of the 6, this is the only one in a PSA 5, and there are none graded higher for Boss Schmidt in this brand, Cycle 350. So here are 2 of the 6 cards that I'm going to share with you. Stay tuned for part 2 and 3. I'm really excited to share those cards with you. Hope all you T206 lovers out there really enjoy these cards. I sure do, and I'm going to spend a lot of time looking at them. And I look forward to participating in future auctions now that I've learned how it's done on Heritage. I'm sure I'll be back. Very pleased with their customer service too. So thanks so much for sticking with me and looking at these beautiful cards. Take care, everyone.